This is ESPN Northwest Florida.
Lights, camera, action.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Do you know who I am?
Live and local inside the J. Michaels studio.
People know me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good morning, hot tub. We need to be in a hot tub right now. I'll tell you, it's cold outside. Thank you for listening this morning. Ethan Boyd is on his way in here. Now, I text him. He texted, I'm running a little bit late. I said, late people bring donuts.
And breakfast.
Yeah, well, he will do that. He brings some good stuff in here, believe me. But I wanted that sugar stuff, and I doubt he'll bring it. But if he does, I'll be happy. But I'll be happy whenever he does. And Jeremy's in here back in the saddle. We missed you last week.
We had a good trip over. Missed y'all. I hope our call came in on the Highway 20. It's kind of sketchy cell phone.
I'll be honest with you. I started thinking about when you were. I said, man, you know that could be. Were you driving?
No. I was riding.
Good.
No,
okay.
I was riding. But you know that little stretch once you hit Ebro heading over toward Freeport, downtown Bruce.
Now, did y'all go 20 all the way across? Or did y'all go 20?
331. Yeah, and up. Just that time of morning, pretty much any time of the morning now. I mean, 98 is just too challenging to go that way. So we go 20, 331, hit 10, and go back down. So
when we moved, 24 years ago, we moved here. It was unbelievable, and we saw it down in Southwest Florida where 99, 90. And you can see it coming, and now it's like a connection from Fort Myers all the way down to Naples to Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Just wall-to-wall people, and the traffic is unbearable, and you see it happening here.
See it happening.
It's just going to connect. We're going to all be one big cement city.
Apartment
complexes everywhere.
I tell you, if I ran the DOT, the one thing I would do is 4-lane Highway 20, though. Mercy. Even on the way back, we were having redirected because of an accident on 20 that shut everything down. I mean, it was one of those car carriers that turned sideways on the bridge,
really?
And they were working that one for hours. But we had to go back to Freeport, down, pick up 98.
Were there injuries from that one?
There were injuries on that. They landed a chopper and life flighted folks out. But it's dangerous out there. So just be careful.
I know that trip probably took a long time then.
Mm-hmm.
I felt when the traffic's not bad, if you hit it just right, the best way to get to Pensacola, Mobile, or maybe not Pensacola, but Mobile. I can't go 98 all the way, but I can go 98 into Destin, take a right by Bass Pro.
Yeah, the Mid-Bay Bridge.
Take that bridge.
Mm-hmm.
They got a little toll. Is it still a toll?
It's still a toll through there, but it moves you along.
And it takes you up to Crestview, correct?
Yeah,
I've done that.
Go back around that way.
And it seemed like that was quicker.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Just depends on how you get through that little section from Miramar to Destin.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's packed out, it's better going 20.
Yeah.
I'm that's the way I go, too. I go up 79, 20, 331. Anything else you want to know about traveling, give us a call.
Yeah,
I do want to ask you this.
This is how we travel, not the traffic update.
Right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We had the severe weather outbreak, three at a time were on the ground. Well, tornado warnings, 3 of them. And people get upset that there's not in school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's the smartest thing our superintendent does, and the other ones, the surrounding areas, they backed up the school. Think about it. If Alabama does it right, they've seen it. They've gone through having kids killed.
Yeah, Enterprise changed things
yes.
there.
You don't want all these kids in one little building. If it hits it, devastating.
Yeah, and the time when it was coming through, you don't want them standing by bus stops and all the things that was.
So chill out. He did the right thing. I give him 100,000% credit. Good job, Mr. Husfeld, because you don't want to on the road.
First.
Yeah, unbelievable. We got a phone call. Good morning.
Good morning, Coach. Sad Bear Bryant death anniversary. Happy birthday, Gretzky.
We're getting ready to do a little Bear Bryant stories.
Oh, I could tell you stories. I seen him push John Hand around like he was a rag doll one day in Nashville. But there's been an accident up in Geneva County coming out of Florida. 2 Alabama bandwagons got blown over because nobody was in them, but nobody was hurt.
Oh, listen to this. Listen to this.
Oh, go Vols, go Predators. Rafalski creates a low pressure area. Detroit Red Wings, of course, they're communists. Bye.
Bye. Mike, before he gets up. Yeah, we're going to get into that. Before we get into this, Coach Bryant passed away 40 years ago today, and we're going to talk quite a bit about him in a couple of segments. We got some A&M stories. Jeremy's got a story. I got a story.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into Coach Bryant, sports is the last frontier. It's it. The discipline. It's the only place I think the kids are disciplined like they should be. You talk to teachers throughout the country here in Bay County. Discipline is the main issue you see teachers getting out of it. And we look at all these kids that watch TV shows, everything. They're getting hit every different way. When I was growing up, if you watch a show and whatever, it'd be off the air. Now they're forcing certain things down your throat. And you went to a meeting. I think it was a youth meeting.
Well, one part of that, we had staff retreat with our youth directors, working with youth directors over at Pensacola, and just talking about the complexities of what kids are dealing with now. You talk about the media. There was one television in the house growing up, and the whole family sat around to figure out what they wanted to watch.
Good point.
And it was a 30-minute show, and you had to know when it was coming on.
What about two or three stations? Maybe three?
Yeah, and so you had to plan around it if you were interested in it. Yeah. Now everything's readily accessible 24/7 on demand.
Anything you want, anytime. And you can have the same living room where everybody would have been watching the same content, and now everybody's got their own device watching their own content. That cell phone has killed us.
It's totally changed. I mean, this is one of those, we won't fully understand the dynamics of this. It's kind of like when the printing press came out 500 years ago. Yeah. When people quit telling stories and started to write things down.
Right.
Well, this will be that type of shift, but it's hard to know exactly what's happening when we're living in it.
The youth ministry, I think, is huge. Especially, I think FCA is huge. Athletics, getting kids involved in sports at a young age. They've been a study of this. They make better grades. They're more disciplined. I talk to these guys that own these different, like Ethan. They own these different businesses and things. You hire an athlete, you got a better worker. They're used to discipline. They're used to being there. They're used to giving the best effort they can. If not, they're used to getting I remember getting kicked in the butt when we screwed up when I was in school and getting paddled by the coach and you got in trouble. See, all that's gone. But still today, I think the best employees you can hire is an athlete, a former athlete. Even if you hired a guy that went to college, that played there a couple of years, maybe never got that degree, the discipline he learned along the way, the winter workouts, the summer, that used to be 2-a-days. They even watered that down now. They're just better. I just think they're better. And I think the youth ministry is the only thing really going to save us.
Yeah, you got to have these positive influences in the life of a kid, the reinforcement, the encouragement. The other part, I think, if you develop the love of the game early on for a child, then the marginal kid that might struggle with academics will commit academically in order to stay.
You're looking at one
involved and participating. Otherwise, it's very easy just to drop out because it's too hard.
My sister, I think, cried when she made a B at Lanier High School in Montgomery, Alabama. I was like, what's going on? She's crying about making a B. She wanted straight A's all the way through. My brother could have made straight A's, but he could. It was easy to him, so he was like me. He could get.
I feel this increasing, starting with B's, A's. Where were we, Coach?
Now come to me. Now me.
Rhodes Scholar.
Hey, when it comes, no. All those classes you see all most people in the advanced class. You see me, I'd be somewhere else with a small class. I mean, I was the worst. I didn't care one bit about school. The only thing that made me, like what you just said, the only reason you got to make a what to play? Yeah. That's the only time I started taking it seriously. Maybe I better listen. Because I had a hard time listening. I'd sit there and be daydreaming, having a good time. And they'd get on to me. I remember teachers putting her hands on my face. Now focus, listen, focus. Okay. And I'd be right back in daydreaming. But you're right. The sports is the only thing. If it wasn't for football, I don't know what would have happened to me. I really don't.
Yeah. Well, then you start looking at extracurriculars. You start looking at funding those programs and how it does make that difference, that you don't become a statistic, but you participate. learn things through playing sports and then carry those things into life.
Yeah. And I don't care if you played at elementary, you know, you get it as you grow up. My granddaughter Layton's she's played flag football. Ron Movey was her coach. He's an unbelievable coach. Great positive role model. He is good. And then she played soccer for him and another coach. But we got in basketball, so we get them in the sports. Lorelai, my other youngest one, she got out there. She wouldn't do anything. It was funny. She just stand there and watch the soccer ball. Like, I don't want to do this. She wants to dress up in it. You know, she's just. But anyway, we're gonna get her back in sports. But she's in dance. She's in dance, and she does. Yeah. Both of them are gymnastics. But you know what? Their great aunt. I don't know how you call it. Mariah's aunt. She won the Paul Bear. I said this before on the show too. She won the Paul Bear Bryant Award. She was a gymnast, I think, on a national championship team in Alabama.
Wow.
And she's probably, I don't know how old she is now. She still looks like she could do it. She's gorgeous. I mean, just beautiful lady. So, you know, if you're involved in anything, anything, it's just important to get involved. And I think it's important too to get them in, you know, the youth ministry. I think that's really important.
Well, when you are on a team, you learn those dynamics of being part of a team. So when you're around the others who are lifting you up, that helps to bring out the best. You know, all of those things reinforce, and that's helpful and much needed for kids today because they're discouraged pretty early.
I tell you, the greatest thing is positive reinforcement, and I'll be honest, I was bad at that. When I was at Cape Coral, I thought I did the best job of the 30 years I coached. Just everything was positive, upbeat, didn't let anything get to me. And I constantly read books. Lou Holtz books, everything where things are positive reinforcement. And then as you get older, you got to fight off being cranky and getting on people and not having the patience. When I was at Arnold, I was pretty hard on those kids. I tried to be positive, but then again, I was pretty hard on them. But because I thought they had a lot of talent, they could have been really good. Now, they weren't very fast, but I knew if we worked them really hard, they could get stronger as anybody around, which they did. And I think we mentally could make them tougher. So we were hard on them, really hard on them. And they did. I think a lot of them overperformed. But we weren't loaded with great talent. We have one or two really good players. The rest of them is hard-working kids. But sports is so important for development of people and things like that. So get them kids out there. Get them playing. Take them down to Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Jason Kovaleski, give them a little edge there. Take them to Rudy's Barbecue. Feed them well. Matter of fact, you been in there lately?
I think it was about 2 weeks ago we were through there. Yeah. I had a guy took him for his first time out there, and he liked the brisket, so got good reviews. Truly, that is a beautiful restaurant, really. You have done a wonderful job. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah. And you played all kind of youth sports.
Everything I could.
And I seen him a little bit. Now he's got some little kids.
Yeah.
And he's already got one of them playing. How old's that?
Walker, he's 3.5.
He's already had him out there. I saw him out there going to practice, playing soccer games.
All we do every day, I get off work, we go play ball. He's like, "Can we play ball?"
Ball.
And we just literally just either kick a ball or throwing a ball. So
that's good.
The other ones are trying to keep up. They're kind of small.
So. Jimmy, your girls playing?
So we got volleyball coming up with the girls there, and my 3-year-old, soon to be 4-year-old, he's going to dip his toes into the wee ball this spring.
We signed up for Wii Ball. I don't know what this Wii Ball is, but I'm excited. But
wait a minute, now go back. What is Wii Ball?
T-ball with a little
T-ball.
Yeah.
Layton did that. Yeah.
We signed up for some Wii Ball this spring. So.
So here we go.
All right. When we get back on this date in 1983, a legend, bigger than life. I mean, if you were alive back then, this man was as big as it is. And when he died, it was on every national radio show, TV show, national news. It was a big deal. Paul Bear Bryant died in 1983, January 20. Today's 26th, right?
26.
Yeah. And we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about Coach Bryant. Yeah. Hey, you want to have a great meal? Yesterday we went to J. Michael's restaurant, had that world famous J. Michael's spaghetti. I got there probably about 11:05, and big crowd. Every Wednesday, big crowd there because everybody knows he only does it once a week. I saw Laura and Eric Baker. They are wonderful people. They were down there. That's my son's in-laws. His mother, and I'm going to tell you what, Eric's one of the greatest grandfathers you could ever have. He is truly a great grandfather. And Laura is unbelievable. She's Lala to the kids. They love her to death. So them kids are loved so much by her grandparents. They do a credible job. We had a good time sitting there talking to them. A lot of other, Phil Cobb was there. Brian was there. And I didn't buy his lunch. I feel bad. I should have. But I really feel better I didn't. I got over it quickly.
Did someone buy your lunch? That's
no,
the question.
no, I was not going to let that happen.
Okay.
I did buy someone's lunch, but I didn't buy Brian's. I should have. But I'm over it now. I feel I'm okay with it. I think I can go on. But get out J. Mike's Restaurant, best seafood, coldest beer, J. Michael Restaurant on Thomas Drive. And let's give a little bit of love to Rudy's Barbecue on Back Beach Road. What is going on there? What'd you bring in that bag?
I just, donuts for you.
I saw his little tail waggling when you walked in here. You spoil him. How many do you bring him?
Enough. I mean, you can have one, Coach, but
No, he slaps my hands when I go and try to take him.
no, we just got the old breakfast tacos.
Yeah.
Breakfast tacos and just just got orders this weekend, stuff like that. Deliveries and some caterings this weekend, so we'll be busy out and about in town. So
all right, we got the NFL playoff championship games this weekend. What Jeremy, they're talking about doing them in neutral sites. We'll get in that. I'm going to get your opinion on that later today.
The one in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
They should only be played in Dallas.
Yeah, well, that way the people there can experience.
You're big on Dallas
good.
during college football.
Yeah, might as well. But what are we talking about? Oh, but anyway, if you guys having a big party, you want it catered, or you just want to make an order, go by and pick it up. Ethan, that's a great place to do it. I would get the turkey plates. I'd get the barbecue. You'd have a really good time. We have done it for Thanksgiving, Christmas. It's a great thing to do. And by the way, the ham was really good. But get out to Rudy's Barbecue. I think you'll love it. It's a brand new facility, 350 seats. They have a Lorelei and Layton room back there. It's a great place to host parties. Heck, you could have a party back there, watch the games there, right there at Ethan's place. But call and make an appointment if you want to do that. Right? They want to have a party. They got to call and set the dates up.
Yeah, it just kind of depends on the size, but generally if you come and just talk.
Hey, do y'all? If it's a large number, or maybe I should ask you this off air, but I won't. If it's a large gathering, do y'all give any kind of little discount?
I mean, kind of, yes. So, like, the group meal package obviously is like, cheaper per person than, like, ordering full off the menu. So.
He's asking for a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I do? I go, wait a minute now. If you can do it then, why? Yeah, anyway. Get out to Rudy's Barbecue, have a great time. Buffalo Rock, I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper Zero right now. Unbelievable. Everybody in here's a pepper. Everybody loves Pepsi products. Buffalo Rock's #1, not even close. And my good buddy Chuck Tucker, what a wonderful man. Chuck, we love you, brother. Praying for you. You are the man. But he does an incredible job of real estate. All the big time. I'm talking about the heavy hitters, but like Mark Coward, one of the greatest realtors in the state. Beth Mulvey. They all use South Oak Title and Closing. Make sure you don't make a mistake. If you go into a real estate deal, you make sure you demand Chuck Tucker. You demand South Oak Title and Closing. We'll be right back. Ethan Boyd, Jeremy Pridgett. Tommy's out. He's not really killing any animals. He is fishing, though. He's went fishing. I told him, I said, this time you have the heart attack, will you please go to the hospital there and not drive 5 hours? He goes, I'll think about it. All right, we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdogs.
Hey, it's Miles Nashke Lashley, and coming up on the next Afternoon Underdogs, we'll have your chance to win with Traffic Jam and Trivia at 5. Plus the High School Spotlight at 5:40. It moves fast. And your calls at 850-215-6290. The Afternoon Underdogs are live and local.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Thursday morning. I'm forecasting a more quiet weather day today. It'll be partly to mostly sunny in the mid to upper 50s. A northwest wind up to 20 miles per hour. Less wind tonight, mostly clear, chilly, 35 to 40 for the low. Friday's going to be mostly sunny in the mid 50s. Low 60s Saturday, mostly sunny. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Mid-South Lumber has new owners. Stop in and visit Ann and Dave. They're on site every day to make you a priority. They're not the typical big box store, and customer service is their #1 priority. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Transform your home with James Hardy Siding. Durability, fire resistant, sustainability. James Hardy Color Plus is virtually maintenance-free and comes with a 30-year warranty. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City.
By now, you've heard us talking about Tiger TV Pro. Hi, David Hayes from the Afternoon Underdogs, here to remind you about this incredible streaming service with over 6,000 premium channels. And the cost, you ask? $15 a month. Yes, only $15 a month. Every sports channel is available, including the ACC and SEC network, the NFL, NBA, MLB, HBO, Showtime, and thousands more. For more info, go to our website at espnpc.com. Scroll down and click the Tiger logo.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show.
I'm not prepared. I really am not prepared at all. I hope you won't judge me on one email I sent 10 years ago.
My apartment smells of rich mahogany.
Live from the J. Michael Studio.
Not after spicy or food nibble!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You pointed at me. I was like, what? Huh? What? Hey, welcome back. Thank you guys for listening this morning. Be careful driving to school this morning. It is cold, as you know. It's going to be colder tomorrow morning. The next 2 or 3 days will be cold. Then guess what? Another front's going to come through. And then after that, we're supposed to have some Arctic air getting here, really cold weather. So we'll see how it plays out. But be careful driving this morning and have a great day at school. If you're a teacher or you're a coach or you're a student, you guys have a wonderful time. I know we have a lot of parents listen to us, and I tell you all the time, if you want to get your kid a scholarship, you want to, especially at a young age, start them out now. Go down and visit Jason Kovaleski at Max Fit Sports Nutrition, not just for what he can give you, but the information he can give you for his nutrition, what they should be eating, what they shouldn't be eating. I see every day these kids at restaurants eating things they shouldn't have no business putting in their mouth, kind of like me, things I put in I shouldn't be doing. Get off the sugar. I'm telling you, keep these kids off sugar. All right, 1983, I drive home. My wife runs out the door. I'm like, what is going on? And she's like, you're not going to believe this. I said, what? She goes, Coach Bryant is dead. I said, what? Mm-hmm. It floored me, man. If you grew up in the state of Alabama, if you lived in the South, if you love college football, you all knew how big. How old you got to be? Probably 55. You're 55 and older, 60 older.
Yeah, I mean that defined a generation. I'm 46. My first Iron Bowl was his last. I mean, I've got
But you knew as a kid about him.
You knew the significance of. You didn't understand it, obviously, comprehend it, but you knew this was big stuff.
Yeah.
If you watch Alabama football.
So 50, 55, somewhere around there. If you're older than that, you know what we're talking about. He was bigger than life, and if you lived in Alabama, and Jeremy, I remember back in the '60s. I remember the march from Selma. We lived in Montgomery. I remember watching national TV, everybody be around that black and white little bitty box, and they'd be talking about Birmingham and Bull Connor and the dogs biting people, shooting people with hose, treating them like animals, just, blowing up churches and stuff. It was unbelievable back then. And you were always like, man, it made you feel, to me, it made us feel like, man, people hate us. And we were, the average guy had nothing to do with that kind of crap. Mm-hmm. It was just bad. And then we had Alabama football. You had Paul Bear Bryant. He was like, I think because all the negative things towards the South in the 60s, with him being such a big national figure, I think, that's the one thing we felt good about. Mm-hmm. He was our hero, man. Everybody loved him. I'm talking about blacks, whites, everybody loved that man. But I think he was, and then he played at Alabama. Saban's going to take over this eventually because we'll die out, and he's going to be the guy everybody thinks about for the next 40 years or whatever.
Right.
But Bear played there. He was bigger than life. He wrestled a bear to get his name. The way he talked, the way he acted. I grew up watching this radio show when Alabama would play. Who was the guy? John somebody. I can't remember his last name now. He was really good. And the Paul Bear Bryant TV show. We grew up watching that stuff.
Which was the way around the NCAA limitations on the number of times the team could be shown during the course of the year.
Yeah.
There's another era where they thought that was too much for these athletes, and so you had one or two, I think maybe 3 games. That's the most you could have.
3, I think it was 3.
And so the Golden Flake show on Sunday afternoon was when you could see.
Don't mention the other one. Yeah.
You could see the headlights. The highlights of.
You could watch it in Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee,
right,
Florida, Panhandle of Florida.
Yeah. So that was innovative for the time period.
And it wasn't 30 minutes like it is now. It's an hour.
Mm-hmm. And you can go through the museum now, and you can see that old footage just rolling there. And now the coaches' show is almost an afterthought because everybody's jumping on the immediate press conference that happens right after the game. But
they want to get it over and get away from it.
Right. The coaches' show was that moment on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
tell me a Bear Bryant story. I want you to tell me what do you remember about it?
Well, you know, I think you have to, as you've tried to, do here, explain the significance for a generation coming along. And his funeral is likened to Elvis Presley, Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands plus, lined that route from Tuscaloosa up to Birmingham to Elmwood Cemetery. And he was actually buried out of First Methodist Church in Tuscaloosa. And there's no prepping for that. If you serve a church like I do, sometimes you're put in situations where there's no manual for how you begin to accommodate those matters. And that staff, I've talked to a couple who were associated with that, and they said the behind the scenes of handling all of the coaches that came in and all the
Woody
press
Hayes
that came in, and just this fraternity of coaches, and that was pretty fascinating from their perspective of when he passed and the overflow into other churches to accommodate it with closed circuit and all of the things that happened.
All right, closed circuit. I don't know. I heard that like other churches, people were there and they had it piped through.
Mm-hmm.
Was that
that's exactly what they're doing there, just because there were only so many that could fit there in that First Methodist Church in downtown.
Did you know the guy that did the?
We had a retired minister that was part of the staff there. Didn't know, but he was much younger, obviously, and was around at that time. That told us a little bit about it when we did a day with the staff at First Tuscaloosa. And just said, unlike anything it's ever seen, won't ever see anything like it again.
Yeah, I mean, they showed it. Well, they showed it on national news too. The people lined the interstate, they were over overpasses, Birmingham. But you talking about coaches being there? My goodness, John McKay was there, which was a legend at Southern Cal in the '60s, Tampa Bay NFL coach. Woody Hayes was there. All the big time, big name players, coaches. It was
turning up.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and you mentioned, I mean, like how you were greeted with that news. I mean, it was just the rug being pulled out from under everybody, and that sudden death hits so different, and so the collective grief and the outpouring that comes there. I mean, all death is challenging for folks, but when you see somebody in slow decline, there's kind of a anticipation when you're going along, and then just
because they had said earlier that day he was doing better, good spirits, and all of a sudden they came back and said he had passed away.
Yeah,
you said something that made me think of. I had some notes. Growing up, I mean, to me, this unbelievable figures in our country: Elvis Presley, Bear Bryant, John Wayne, Martin Luther King. Those people, and I'm sure there's another one. Who was another one I was thinking about? But even like that movie Forrest Gump, they hit on the biggest names ever in the South, and really in the nation. Elvis' world. They had on Elvis Presley was in there, Bear Bryant was in that movie, Nixon was in that movie. But those people, they just think we lived through that time. You'll never forget that. I remember when Martin Luther King was killed. I remember when Elvis died. We were at practice, found out about that, and my wife told me about Bear. Well, I go inside, so I try to call my mother and dad in Alabama. You couldn't get through. You couldn't get anybody on the phone. It's like the phone system broke down because all the calls in and out of the state of Alabama when he died. Yeah, I mean, he was that big. It was you have no idea how big he was back then.
No idea.
Tell us about A&M. What do the A&M people feel about him now? I know it's been probably so long now some of them might not even know who he is.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the most famous thing is obviously the Junction Boys. You know what I mean? That was kind of the big deal. The big thing with A&M really is the Junction Boys.
I want you to hold right there. We got to get back. I want you to talk about that. They made a movie about that.
They did.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about some of our great people. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. You want the best Mexican food? It's right across the street from the Navy base on Thomas Drive. But they have happy hour 3 to 7. You go in there, got $5 pictures. You go in there. You want a small little draft beer, you get the next one's free for your partner. Same thing for margarita, same thing for house wine. Lunch specials every single day. But make sure this Sunday, get in there and watch. They want you to come visit with them this Sunday when the NFL championship games are being played. They'll have it on all those beautiful TVs throughout the building. And they'll have the best food. They're going to have drink specials, everything else, $5 pictures. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Go try it. We think you'll love it. Dr. Chad Mitchell, legendary doctor around here. Been taking care of athletes now for 23, 24 years. Does an incredible job. If you get injured, go see Chad. You can listen to him here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida every Monday morning. If you love golf, Bay Point Golf. Where are you going?
Bay Point.
How did you play the other day? What'd you shoot?
I played a lot better on the back.
Okay, good. That course is nice, isn't it?
I love that course.
Jeremy, you play?
I've kind of moved to being the D player on the best ball 4-man.
There you go. Now, you played at Bay before.
Yeah, I've played out there, but if 3 people out there with me and one of them's a good shot, we'll go play that one.
But you're good to talk to. I mean, you're good to talk to.
Hey, that's the rule. I always tell if you want to be on my scramble team, there's 2 rules. Either you got to be really good, or you got to be a lot of fun. So Jeremy's a lot of fun. You know what I mean?
A lot of fun. Good
I can pick it up if I need to, but don't expect me to carry it.
We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdogs.
Hi, this is Todd Mueller from PCB Coins and Cards. Join me on the Afternoon Underdogs Mondays at 4:20. We'll discuss rare coins and currency, hard-to-find trading cards, sports memorabilia, and the amazing stories behind them all. Plus, you can call in with your questions at 850-215-6290. The Afternoon Underdogs, live and local on ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's a new year to dream big and drive bigger in an SUV from Bill Bird Kia. Take the first step toward your next adventure and stop by Bill Bird Kia today. You'll find the perfect match in an SUV from Bill Bird Kia, now offering 3.25% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us anytime at 2435 East 15th Street, and also online at BillBirdKia.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance for the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento with $22.22 per month per $1,000 financed at 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 2/28/23.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michael Studio.
They got something that money couldn't buy.
I was noticing when you come down the stairs that you've got pretty legs.
All right, I'll tell you a story without a happy ending.
Y'all following this?
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This date in 1983, Paul Bear Bryant took his last breath and broke a lot of hearts, man. When the Bear passed away, when Bobby Bowden died, it was kind of sad like that for the Florida State fans. I'm sure it was for me, him being a Bama guy. And I told Bill Thomas, I said, Bill, Bill coached Arnold with me, and he now is the head coach of Sneeze. I said, Bill, I'm telling you, you're living through the greatest time of your life right now. When Bobby leaves Florida State, it won't be the same. When he dies, you're going to see what I'm talking about. And he said, you know what? You told me a long time ago. I said, it wasn't. I still love Florida State, but it's not the same without Bobby there. And it's not. It's never the same to me after Alabama with Nick. Now, it's been pretty good with Nick Saban, I will say that. But after Bear died, we went like 25 years until Gene Stallings.
The only flash was Stallings. And I was reading a lot about, when Perkins came in and how that hiring went down, and the doctor who was aware that Bryant was going to step down, and some of the inner workings of the search. And the thinking was that Stallings was the desired pick for Bryant, but he had said he would not get in the process, and other things with Schnellenberger didn't materialize, and Bowden was on the short list, and then Perkins, ends up popping up, and then the tower coming down. I mean, all of those things.
New radio people. He changed everything.
It changed it. And
went to a white helmet.
And that did not fly well at all. And then you go through Curry, Tech Man, couldn't beat Auburn.
How
I mean, all those
knocks. They hire him.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. And then you get to Stallings, and it was kind of like that first flash of, okay, here's a disciple of Bryant and win the 92 title. And of course he and Bachrath have their issues, and he says, if you don't want to win 17-10 ball games, then fine, I'm out of here, because Spurrier's coming on in Florida and they're lighting it up, and it's just two contrasting styles, and we know that from all those great SEC championship games in the 90s.
Yeah.
And when he's gone, then we go through Dubose and Shula, and Price is in the middle of it just took a while to get to Saban.
Dubose didn't even have the power to fire his assistant coach.
Right.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
I think he would have done a lot better job if they had left him alone and gave him the power to do what he needed to do.
Yeah.
Who was the AD when Dubose? I can't even remember.
I'd have to pull that one up just to check and see. But, yeah, so it was a long road with one little, sort of flash of greatness there with Stallings to get to where you are today at Alabama with Saban. And it's this generation, that Bryant defined it in the same way that Saban's going to define it for a group of Alabama fans now.
Right.
But even now we're talking, okay, who follows? Well, there's
Good
not
luck.
going to be one
Good
that
luck.
can follow. Yeah.
Good luck.
I mean, look at Florida. Florida's had a time since Spurrier.
Yep.
You look at Florida State.
Yep.
They
Bobby.
may have their guy in Norvell. Look at Penn State. I mean, they
And
consistent.
I'm not sure they still got their guy or not.
Right. Look at Oklahoma. You had Switzer gave way to Stoops, but after Stoops, so all of these programs go through this transition, and there's no more vulnerable time than when there's a change at the top. Doesn't matter what it is. I mean, it can be your local school, it can be, your football team, but that's when everybody's vulnerable, and who's going to emerge as the leader. And we saw that in the aftermath of Bryant's death in the Alabama program.
Remember when? I don't know if you much about this or not, but Mal Moore wanted that job.
Mm-hmm.
I think his feelings were hurt when he didn't get it, and I really believe. And you hear certain things. Who knows what the truth is, but I think his feelings were hurt too. I think he was disappointed in Coach Bryant because he knew Coach Bryant had the power to get him that job if he wanted to. And I have heard things. I won't say much more, but I have heard all kinds of different things. Don't know what's true, what isn't. But him and Coach Bryant were pretty close, and I know he wanted that job bad. And he was disappointed when he didn't get that job.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? That was probably the greatest thing. That I always say it doesn't happen to you; it happens for you. It wouldn't have worked out if he had gotten that job. They were on him most of the time anyway because the offense got at the end was not good.
Right.
Like it had been before. I don't think it would have worked out at that time. And look what he did as an AD. He's a legend now. They got things named after him.
Exactly.
So
yeah, and Perkins had a near impossible task.
Oh yeah.
And
he made it worse for himself though.
He made it worse. Yeah, he did. But whoever follows Saban's going to have those same expectations and shoes to step in, and the bar is so high on the success that it's going to be hard to keep.
My brother-in-law, his bank in Hattiesburg, I think it's the one in Hattiesburg. He had a guy that ran it. Jim was best friends with Ray. They grew up together in Petal, buddies, and to the day he died, they were close, really close. And he said Ray was just no nonsense, didn't care, was going to do it his way and all that kind of stuff. And getting rid of the tower, firing the radio staff that they were so used to. And I don't know. I don't think that the tower really upset people.
Mm-hmm.
They thought it was disrespectful. So before the first game, and then they went to wear those white helmets, which I didn't like it. But
no,
the old people, they were like, "What are we doing?
Right?
It's not Alabama. That's not what we do at Alabama." So anyway, it's bad. Ethan, I want you to get back to A&M. I mean, do they have a statue of him there or anything?
So in the Football Hall of Fame, his original contract with A&M, they actually found it, whatever you do to artifacts, blah blah blah, like old paper, so that it doesn't get messed up, and it's like framed up in the thing. So I mean, they have the original contract, and there's obviously when they go through the history of A&M football, like in the Ford Hall of Fame at the stadium, like you go through the Bear Bryant section and the years and stuff like that, and so Obviously, that's always remembered. I mean, people are always going to remember Coastal Junction Boys. I mean, that's the most famous thing. Obviously, that John David Crow, obviously playing for him, Heisman Trophy winner. Then obviously you got Gene Stallings and Jack Party.
Yeah.
Two guys that coached at the NFL level. Obviously, both coached at the college football level. Both are in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Jack Party, that's right. Bear loved him.
Yeah, and I mean he's kind of the unforgotten one, I think, of the three, because he doesn't get as much claim to being a part of A&M because he never coached at A&M. But he coached at Houston for a long time. Obviously, had his run through the NFL. He played in the NFL for a good while too. Gene Stallings obviously is the most famous. I would say he's the most famous one of the Junction Boys because he coached at Alabama. He kind of followed Bear's path. He coached at A&M first, then went to Alabama. He was successful pretty much at both programs.
Obviously, he beat Bear at A&M, did he?
Yeah,
Cotton Bowl?
It was his.
1968.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was last year or not, but yes,
there's that iconic picture of him
where
lifting him up.
Where Barrett he picked him up, and then also after the game he went into the locker room and he congratulated the A&M players individually. And they said it's probably the most classful thing you could ever see in your life was Paul Brown.
Bear went in their locker room,
and after the game, shook all the players' hands, talking about how great of a program they were, blah blah blah. Just really just made them feel good. And then they said it's probably the most classiest thing you'd ever seen in your life.
Wow.
That he would do that after losing a game to and there's something to losing to your former assistant. It's not you're proud, man. I mean, you probably don't like it, but he was so happy for Gene and then his players, and it's a pretty amazing story. I think people talk about it.
Yeah. And in that same vein, talking about the class, and you watch the jumbotron and the tradition video before the game, you still hear those things being preached. I mean, as much as Saban talked about process, Bryant talked about class. We do it the right way. The verbiage is different, but the spirit was the same way. And you listen to, and you mentioned before the break in the previous segment, it was a sense of pride for Alabama. I mean, Feinbaum has that great quote of 48 in education, 49 in highways, and 50 in something, but number one in football. It was a source of pride in the upheaval of society and the civil rights movement. And you mentioned the visit to the locker room, reminded me of the story when the USC team came to Birmingham, integrated ball team. And as Bryant would say, he ran, Sam Cunningham ran all through the skinny white boys that he called them at the time. Yeah. And after the game, he took Cunningham into the Alabama locker room and said, "Man, this is a football player." Yeah. And that was a significant moment with regard to the culture of Alabama, segregated Alabama, civil rights, all of that came through football, not necessarily through just.
It wasn't a kid from Birmingham?
I can't remember that about Alabama, Cunningham. May have been, but it was almost reaching out, for a favor for USC to come in and play in Alabama, and ran them off the field in Legion Field that night.
They got beat 42-21. In the very next year, with the integrated team, he went out to L.A. on a Friday night, and they wore white helmets that night. Johnny Musso, they beat Southern Cal,
and that was the introduction of the wishbone.
Yeah. Went 11-1 and got killed on Nebraska in the Orange Bowl.
They kind of pulled a fast one and practiced the whole time in the I formation when the media was out there.
And then you
came in with a wishbone. And
it's good coaching right there.
That's exactly right.
1973. I grew up watching his shows, listening to radio games, watching them on TV. Finally got a chance to go to a game. Greatest day of my life. To this day, it's the highlight of my life. Mr. Melton took us. Our tickets, Morris and I had it, were set in the end zone, okay? And what did Bear Bryant do? That's the first time I ever seen it. I didn't know he did this. He leaned up against the goalpost during warm-ups. That's something he did, and I didn't know. That's a big deal. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you what, everybody in that stadium, Tennessee fans too, guess what they were looking at? They were staring at him leaning up against the goalpost. That man, there was something about him. He was big, too. I couldn't believe how big the guy was.
Yeah.
And after that game, first play of the game, they faked to the fullback and hit Wayne Wheeler for an 80-yard touchdown pass. Wilbur Jackson had an 80-yard run. They had a punt return for a touchdown. Two top 10 teams, Alabama, Tennessee, 1973. Bill Battle was the head coach. Holloway was the quarterback. Unbelievable atmosphere. And Alabama beat them 42-21. Mm-hmm. And I think Alabama won the national championship, UPI national championship year. Unbelievable.
Well, you just, there's that iconic picture of him with the Auburn cheerleaders. I don't recall the Alabama cheerleaders going to run get their picture made with any Auburn coach.
Julie, the Southern Mississippi cheerleaders did the same thing. Look at that. Look how big he is.
He's big.
His hands. Do you ever see his hands? His hands
he
like
was
cigar.
Was he a linebacker?
He was a tight end and a defensive end at Alabama. Played in the Rose.
The opposing team cheerleaders coming in, your arch rival coming in just to gather around and have that picture. So it just transcended Alabama football. I mean, the aura.
We got to go. He's mad at me because I keep talking. What's a break? What do you mean break? Hey, do you know what Blue Sky Express Car Wash is? It is the greatest place in the world to take your vehicle or that beautiful Ford truck somebody has out there. You get it washed. It looks like it's showroom ready. They do an incredible job at Blue Sky Express Car Wash. Wonderful people. They work extremely hard out there. They bought the best equipment, and it works the best. Try it out. Your vehicle will look brand new. I promise you that. Also, my good buddy Patrick, Turf Pro. You want that yard to look like a football field, like Pat Dye Field, Vince Dooley Field. I'm telling you right now, get them out to the working yard. They'll get rid of all the insects. They did a great job for us. Turf Pro Pest Control. Give Patrick a call. They'll get out there and take care of you. I promise you that. Also, if you love pizza, there's only one place to go. That's Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. 3 restaurants in one. The bakery's incredible. The deli is unbelievable. And the pizza is, I think it's the crust. I think it's everything. The crust, the ingredients, everything. Try it. They are always packed out. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. We'll be right back. Jeremy Pritchett is with us today. Ethan Boyd, Paul Bear Bryant, we miss you. I'm about to cry. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your home for the NFL. Listen to the biggest games in ultra-high fidelity.
Up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown San Francisco.
Bigger and better than ever.
Wide open, caught at the 10. Jamar Chase takes it in. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
The NFL and ESPN Northwest Florida is sponsored locally by Dave & Buster's Instant Replay Sports Cars, Panama City Toyota, and ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Thursday morning. I'm forecasting a more quiet weather day today. It'll be partly to mostly sunny in the mid to upper 50s. A northwest wind up to 20 miles per hour. Less wind tonight, mostly clear, chilly, 35 to 40 for the low. Friday's going to be mostly sunny in the mid 50s. Low 60s Saturday, mostly sunny. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Game days are always better at Dave & Buster's. That's because more TV inches, more food and drinks, more space, and more fun make the game we all know and love more special. Nothing beats seeing your favorite team take the field on the 2 12-foot big screens or 26 75-inch TVs. Throw in the arcade experience and you've got a winning atmosphere that no other sports bar can deliver. Follow the fun at Dave & Buster's Panama City Beach on Facebook and Instagram. Eat, drink, play, and watch sports at Dave & Buster's.
Mid-South Lumber has new owners. Stop in and visit Ann and Dave. They're on site every day to make you a priority. They're not the typical big box store, and customer service is their #1 priority. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Transform your home with James Hardy Siding. Durability, fire resistant, sustainability. James Hardy Color Plus is virtually maintenance-free and comes with a 30-year warranty. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City.
I'd like to introduce.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show.
Milk was a bad choice.
If I could just have your attention.
60% of the time, it works every time.
If anyone wants to switch jobs, let me know.
Live from the J. Michael Studio.
I have many leather-bound books.
At 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Montgomery, Alabama. Was that back in the 60s or 70s? Is that a 60s, 70s, 70s? Early 70s? Yeah, real early 70s. Grand Funk Railroad, is that right? No, who is it? It's not James Brown. He told me to say James.
Welcome to name that tune.
Right here on 104.3 ESPN.
If you know the name of that song, please call in.
Speaking of that, you know how we always give away trips to the SEC championship game, to Atlanta to watch the Braves play? Well, guess what? We're going to give something else. Tomorrow at 7:45, we're going to tell you more. So you better turn in and listen, because we got a lot of fans in this part of the world going to really enjoy this trip. But I'm not even going to tell you what it is tomorrow. It's 7:45. We're going to start giving away an opportunity if you take a trip that you will absolutely love. Okay,
Coach, you know what it is?
Yeah, but I can't tell you.
Oh.
I got to wait. This is what they call a teaser. That's a pretty good teaser, wasn't it? Jeremy, you got any breaking news for me? You look like that. Something's going on.
No real breaking news. Just kind of monitor and see what's going on. Everything seems kind of true to form this morning. So yeah, always watch. So you never know what pops up first thing in the morning.
Well, Florida Gators got to be happy. They got a good one. Commits to Florida. Big Kentucky offensive lineman. He was a 5-star, I think. One of the publications had him being a 5-star coming out of high school. That's a big deal, and that's a big old boy. And they need some help on the offensive line. So I think it's a huge pickup for Florida. And surely and slowly, they're starting to get some pretty good players in Florida. I think I didn't think they had done a good job like Auburn had done with Hugh Freeze, but they are starting to get some good players in there. That's a good thing. So I think things are going to be better than what we think for Florida. Certainly hope so. Anyway, but nobody, Jeremy, is doing anything like the Florida State's doing as far as getting kids to come in. Recruit. They're doing it both ways. They're getting people out of the portal. They're getting high school kids coming into the program. Pretty impressive what you see going on in Florida State.
One of the things that we've talked about with the addition of the portal, there's several seasons in this now. You play your regular season, then you get into the winter, you play your bowl game, perhaps deal with those that are leaving. Spring football becomes its own season because now you're going to assess, okay, what are my needs are when that second round hits. And you're constantly recruiting this now versus locking them in for 4 years and they're in your program and you might have had the rare transfer. So you're gonna see the immediate impact players. We saw this with Jameson Williams, Alabama, a couple years ago. Quick pickup receiver, running back, from Georgia Tech comes in. Jamar Gibbs. Quick impact. So the coaching is going to shift to here's what we have. Where can we go get that quick pickup to fill a gap?
Yeah.
And that's the wrinkle in this now.
And hopefully it's going to be only a 1-year deal where they can transfer. I hope the NCAA puts. I really I'm not getting that excited about it because I feel like somebody could challenge it in court and they will. I think they'll win.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully they'll fight it and we'll have a few years with this one time you can transfer. The kid that #1 player in the country, big 5-star, signed with Bama. I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. He's been to like 5 different schools. He just left Michigan. What's wrong? I don't get that now. That's what it wasn't meant for that. It was not meant for that, but that's what's happening.
Yeah.
What did you think? Because I hadn't had you on since we talked about it. The revenue sharing and college NCAA revenue sharing. I think that's going to be. I don't think they thought it through. We talked about it. Every program, football pays the bills for all the other sports.
Mm-hmm.
If they take away that, and 50% has to go to pay the players, which I do. Now, I do want to see them in employees at university because that way you got them for 1 calendar year. You got them under contract.
Right.
No more free agency. But what's going to happen to the other sports? It's going to destroy them. If you don't have the money to fund them, what do you do?
Yeah, they're going to fold. You're going to have to.
And when that happens, you're looking at Title IX. You got to have certain sports.
Equal numbers and those matter. So, it's always the unintended consequences, because you can have the best laid plans and then, we didn't think through this. And I think we're in that situation. Maybe conceptually looks good, but when you start to put this into practice, how's it going to shake out? And I think you're hitting on a couple of them right now. The funding of the sports, the Title IX issues that are federal. So watch and wait.
Yeah, well, good and well the government gets involved in it and they can tax people, get money. Because a lot of things with the universities, they don't have to pay taxes on.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Anyway, all right. They just get, what do you think about our boy at Tennessee, Heupel? Went from $4 million to $9 million.
Mm-hmm.
Beating Bama's still big if you're at Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And it hadn't happened 16 years. That got him big time money. And LSU.
That opened up the coffers.
Yeah. I don't care. The LSU game, the Clemson Orange Bowl, that helped. There's no doubt about that. But for Tennessee to finally beat Alabama, and they feeling pretty good about themselves. They feel now they're up there with Georgia. They're up there with Alabama. So We'll see how year 3 is going to be his third year coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But he got a nice $5 million raise.
Mm-hmm.
$9 million. All right, here it is. This is the newest list of the. This is not just the SEC. This is overall highest paid coaches in college football. The latest. Now I don't know. I don't think this is correct because I saw one that said Nick made 11.7. This particular article had 11.1. So it's still Nick Saban. This article is wrong. Nick Saban's making $11.7 million. Dabo is number 2, $11.5 million a year. And at number 3 is Kirby. He's making $10.5 million a year. Lincoln Riley, they estimate it's $10 million because it's a private school, but they say it's that's what they've heard is $10 million a year. Ryan Day, Ohio State, was next. He's making 9.5. He was tied with Brian Kelly, making 9.5. Mel Tucker, 9.5. They're all 3 tied. After that, it's your boy Jimbo Fisher, $9 million a year. Then now, and Heupel tied him.
Yeah. Underpaid, I might add in there. I think he deserves another contract raise. I don't.
Y'all pretty good about it, just didn't you? And Lane Kiffin. How do you make $9 million in the great state of Mississippi? Do you know what $9 million to buy in Oxford, Mississippi?
Whole town.
The whole town. Yeah, I mean, he's got it, man. I want to.
There's a reason he didn't go to Auburn, Coach. I mean,
Well, listen. You say that. When you see all the quarterbacks they brought in, all these really good players, he complained about NIL money. Jeremy, they have opened the pocketbooks up in the great state of Mississippi. He's bringing in some really good talent. Watch out for Ole Miss guys.
He has a really good problem to have. Too many quarterbacks. I mean, come on now.
He's in good shape. Getting back to Brian Kelly, what do you guys think about this? He was mistakenly overpaid by over $1 million, over $1 million in 2022. He signed one of the biggest contracts in college football history. What was it, a 10-year deal? $9.5 million?
Yeah, I think so.
$95 million to coach football is pretty nice. And not only he gets one of the biggest contracts in history, in college football history, the school makes a mistake, and they're even paying him more. Crazy. And the way they found out, the Louisiana legislative, they did an audit. Okay, they audited all these different things. Well, when they did that, they discovered the school gave Kelly extra money. They overpaid him by $1,001,368. 2 months. 2 months they overpaid him. The month of May, the month of June. He's got, he got that 10-year, $95 million deal. He was overpaid 2 times, and here's the deal. They talked about, do we take that money out of what we make us pay him back? And they decided the best method, the best way to go forward, they're going to deduct a little bit after every paycheck where they'll catch up, I guess, in 1 calendar year.
Yeah.
So he'll have to pay back that $1 million. Now, Jeremy, I'm not very good at math, but if you're making $9.5 million a year divided by 12, that's a pretty good chunk of change. So it's really not that
small
big.
Deduction.
It's small, quite small deduction.
If he plays his cards right in the stock market, though, I think he's going to win on this.
I would not be in the stock market. I think I would definitely not be in the stock market. I might do some real estate deals, but can you believe, seriously? I know preachers make kind of big money like that also, so I know you don't want to talk about that, but they're up there with you. I mean, they're in that same team.
Yeah, I hear you, Coach.
Hey, the great state of Louisiana counts well, okay? You know what I mean? Like,
hey, listen, it's like you said earlier, Alabama school districts are terrible. Roads are terrible. Same thing in Louisiana.
Yeah.
With football coaches and football programs, we're going to give every penny we earn to them. Isn't it crazy?
It comes down to funding the reading program or funding the football team.
What's more important, guys?
Oh, my God, man. Oh, okay. All right. Let's try. Go ahead and give some love to Reed's Barbecue.
Oh, yeah. Just breakfast, lunch, and dinner open at 7 a.m. And, got group meals for deliveries and caterings. Obviously we got a pretty good amount of caterings this weekend, and for the big game, if you need to place an order, just give us a call and let us know.
Dr. Ward does an incredible job. You can listen to him every Wednesday morning at 7:30 right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We have a guy that I truly love. He coached with me. I've known him since 1990. He started working. I hired him in 1990 at Cape Coral High School. Doc Holliday. They have moved from Southwest Florida to Tallahassee, big Florida State. He loved Bobby Bowden. He loved Florida State. Got skin cancer. and I don't think he got onto it quick enough, and it spread throughout his body. He had surgeries out of the hospital. I ask you guys, please pray for Doc Holliday's health. They're now putting a feeding tube in him, and it all started because of skin cancer. It can be deadly. It can kill you. 5 minutes can save your life. Go let Dr. Ward check you out. You're listening right now in Northwest Florida. There's an office near you. And I'll tell you this right now. I would not ever get into one of those tanning beds. I've heard war stories about that stuff. That's not a good thing. If you're out playing golf every day, you're fishing, you go on the beach, put that suntan lotion everywhere you can think of. Wear a hat. Take care of your skin. We take it for granted. It catches up with you. And I know for a fact, I've been cut on several times. Dr. Ward does a great job of that. But poor old Doc, it looks like he's not going to make it because of this situation right here. But go see Dr. Ward. Also, Newbies, 3 great locations. John and Sharp do such a wonderful job. They give back to the community all the time. Newbies 2 on the Curve, that's a great place to go watch the NFL playoff games, NBA game, anything. Indoors, it's been remodeled. It's absolutely beautiful in there. They got couches. They got fireplaces. It's really cool in there. You can watch all the sporting events. The Mothership on Thomas Drive, legendary place. Everybody comes back in there. You see people you went to college with. They all come in town. They're all going to go to Newbies. And there's a reason. Best bands in the Southeast every Friday and Saturday night. Newbies, the Booze and Brew, that's Glenn's favorite place, right over there across the bridge on Thomas Drive. No, that's 98. I'm sorry, on 98. Go try that out also. All right, we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
I mean, what a mullet. I mean, come on. I'm not even going to say that state's name anymore, though. My psychiatric counselor at the VA, yes, I served also, she advised me she told me to quit talk radio, but then she said, well, why don't you just quit bothering that Michigan Eddie guy? You're kind of a bully to him.
Weekday morning 7 to 9, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Thursday morning. I'm forecasting a more quiet weather day today. It'll be partly to mostly sunny in the mid to upper 50s. A northwest wind up to 20 miles per hour. Less wind tonight, mostly clear, chilly, 35 to 40 for the low. Friday's going to be mostly sunny in the mid 50s. Low 60s Saturday, mostly sunny. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
By now, you've heard us talking about Tiger TV Pro. Hi, David Hayes from the Afternoon Underdogs, here to remind you about this incredible streaming service with over 6,000 premium channels. And the cost, you ask? $15 a month. Yes, only $15 a month. Every sports channel is available, including the ACC and SEC network, the NFL, NBA, MLB, HBO, Showtime, and thousands more. For more info, go to our website at espnpc.com. Scroll down and click the Tiger logo.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DN Mariana, WVLQ Port St. Joe, powered by Pepsi, ESPN Northwest Florida.
If you didn't receive those special gifts Santa promised you this Christmas, you know those boots and shirts with all the accessories? Well, it's never too late to shop that boot store. The rack after rack of famous name brands, including Carhartt work clothes, awaiting your shopping pleasures. You haven't shopped for Western wear until you shop that boot store, offering a lot more than boots. Remember Joe's motto, always keep Jesus in your heart. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5:30, next to Bill Bird Kia on 15th Street.
Put down your natural light. It's time for the Alabama Update. The Alabama Update, weekday mornings at 8. On the Coach James Hale Show in 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Roll Tide, roll. We've been talking about Bear all day. He didn't coach just at Alabama, he coached Kentucky, Texas. Who started out? Maryland, Kentucky, A&M, Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama Updates brought to you by Stevenson Air Conditioning. With all this cold weather coming in, right? It's going to be really, we get some Arctic blast next week. It's going to be really cold tonight, in the morning, Saturday, Sunday. If you're having a problem, all it's doing is just running. That electricity bill's going up, and up. Call Stevenson Air Conditioning. Let them come out there and service it. They'll make it run better, save you money with your electricity bill. If you got an old one, I tell you all the time, You can't. When you buy a brand new Ford F-150, you lose money. You can't. You're not going to recoup the money. When you buy Stevenson air conditioning unit, you're going to recoup the money because every month you save money on your power bill. Every month you're saving money. You hear me? Every month. Put that money away. Put it in savings. It'll pay for the system you just bought from Stevenson Air Conditioning. They are number one. Jeremy, what do you got for us today on the top?
Well, we'll start with a little Alabama basketball. Number 2 ranked Crimson Tide played the late game last night. Did you stay up and watch it?
No, I didn't even.
Yeah, they tipped at 8 o'clock against Mississippi State. Finished about 10-15 or so. Got a W, 66-63, and
was it at home or what?
It was at home. They struggled a bit. You could listen to Coach Oates in the post game. He was not happy with the offensive production, but they really had to grind out a victory on the defensive side of the ball. He was worried about this rematch. You know, when they played the first time, Alabama went over Starkville. State was undefeated, and Alabama got the win over at Starkville. But on the return trip, Mississippi State really pushed us last night. Yeah, Alabama is in rarefied air here for the basketball. We don't talk a lot about this, and I think if you look, whether it's basketball, football, any you got to look at when they peak, and then somewhere along the way you're going to find some adversity. And was this the game last night to kind of get them back focused? Sometimes you can get that game even with a victory. Most of the time it comes with a loss to kind of, okay, we got to get back in gear here. So it's going to be a real interesting thing to watch, because Saturday they go on the road and play at Oklahoma. Now, I'm still having a hard time thinking this is a future conference game. This is the last of the SEC Big 12 Challenge.
Yep.
This is coming to an end, but Alabama will go to Oklahoma, 1 o'clock tip in Norman on ESPN. So Oklahoma, perennial, power in the Big 12. So good matchup. Alabama should be able to take care of business. I like this in terms of the matchup, because you get back in conference play. It's kind of nice to step out of that 6 weeks or so before we start to deal with the postseason and the things that'll come here. Interestingly enough, the SEC Big 12 Challenge is going to be replaced by the ACC SEC Challenge. And I think that's going to create a lot more excitement for our fans around here.
Definitely a lot more regionally.
Yeah.
It'll be very exciting games, I think, personally.
You've got the natural tie-ins of Clemson, South Carolina, Florida State, but you've got some good matchups. Auburn, Georgia Tech have a bit of a history, so I'm looking forward to those matchups to come, and that'll be exciting. So it's the end of kind of an era of the SEC Big 12 Challenge, and I think that'll be good. But if you look at the stretch here coming up, they have that non-conference game at Oklahoma. Vanderbilt makes the return trip. Then pretty good run here at LSU. LSU playing good ball. Florida in Tuscaloosa should be okay. But the one everybody has circled is February 11 at Auburn.
Yeah.
And, of course, Auburn was upset last night. I think
Yep.
you're a little excited about that.
That's right. We lost to Kentucky, but we took care of business against Auburn. So.
Snapped the longest winning streak in the NCAA last night. A&M matched up well against Auburn.
Yeah.
Surprising perhaps that they went in and did it.
Yeah.
But not a complete shock, because
right.
it just seemed to be a good matchup for A&M.
Yeah, and when A&M, till they lost to Kentucky, was actually undefeated in the SEC. So we had actually been playing really well, but really good basketball. Lost to Kentucky, which I think we were actually the better team. But then it was good to get a rebound win against Auburn last night. So
yeah, and I don't want to look past the Auburn game, and the next one up for Alabama is at Tennessee. So if you're an Alabama basketball fan, we're getting ready for some big matchups.
Yeah.
I know there's some great non-conference wins, but the SEC having Alabama, Auburn, and Tennessee rammed in there into the top 5, and then with A&M showing any team can beat anybody else on any given night. That A&M went on the road and did it is what made it even more impressive to me. So we have an offensive coordinator opening. You interested?
I try to read everything I can right now to see who he's looking at. I mean, there's so many names that pop up for obviously both offensive and defensive coordinator jobs, and they're both. I mean, that's big time jobs right now. So I'm interested to see who gets them.
And you look at the past. I mean, that was a critical juncture when Lane Kiffin came in. A lot of head scratching going on just because of the things Kiffin had to deal with, and then Sarkisian comes in. It is a pretty big hire at this juncture for Saban. And the names that are circulating, you've got Greg Roman. He's been in the NFL, was at Stanford under Harbaugh, kind of dual threat pass runner.
Yep.
If Milroe's your guy, this might be the one you want. Jeff Lebby's name is coming up as the Oklahoma OC quarterback coach. So that one seems to be trending fairly well. Buffalo Bills quarterback coach Joe Brady is another one on the short list. The one I like, and I've just liked him following his whole career, is Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
He's the former Arizona Cardinals head coach. He's had more success in college than the pros. Had Manziel at A&M, Keenum at Houston, and then some Mahomes guy that might be playing this weekend. Yeah. I think he's doing pretty well. But would he come in? It's the right time. I mean, he's been a head coach. He's had success, but does he get retooled for the next run? He could come in, do 3 or 4 years, and potentially do like Kiffin, do like Sarkisian, and find wherever that next big opening is.
Yeah, kind of resurrect his career.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, and Nick he's obviously a good history of doing that with coaches, guys that were head coaches that didn't necessarily work out, and kind of helping them steer their path back.
Yeah. So, a lot of speculation, and then there always could be that mystery man out there that you don't see coming on the OC search.
Let me ask you this. Defensively, I think everybody wants Jeremy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hope he gets it. I had heard Jeremy had made a comment to someone that I know that he didn't know if he would be eligible to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you heard anything one way or other about that?
I have not heard anything. You would know more, there with just kind of some personal ties. The NCAA issues are certainly out there and have to be reconciled in some way. So, but if you
seeing there's no rules anymore and they don't enforce anything, why not Nick just, if he wants him, just go, we're going to get Jeremy, we're going to go with it.
Go get him.
I hope it's even if he can't recruit for a couple of years. They got enough analysts. They got somebody else they can plug in.
Well, and Hugh Freeze now is at Auburn.
That's exactly. I said that before.
And so he's the HC. I mean, we're talking about the DC here. So I think you're right. If that's who he wants to go get him. And those things may be taking place behind the scenes. I do think the news that O'Brien left was well received, because it just seemed that with the talent on the field, the scheme was underwhelming, and it just another year of O'Brien and Golding, I think, would have worn pretty thin. This wasn't necessarily the axe falling. I mean, both of them departed, but at the same time, I think it was a mutual parting that sometimes happens when expectations aren't fulfilled. You're not going to touch the head guy. Saban's there as long as he wants to be, but there had to be some new blood brought in to reinvigorate this, as we talked earlier about.
I think the most important hire to me is not the defense. I don't worry about that, because he is a defensive. It's his defense. It's going to be run the way he wants it. I hope it's Jeremy. The one I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to do on offense. You know what? In the past, I'd always kind of thought I knew what they're going to do, and he'd have somebody out of left field like McElwain. I had no idea. I said, what? That shot, man. He turned out to be. He did a really good job. It might be somebody's not even on that list.
On that list. That's why you have to throw that in. Yeah. These
what do you think of the guy, though, at Oklahoma? He was at Ole Miss. I kind of like him.
Levy, yeah. He continues to pop up here. Matt Corral, second only to Bryce Young, all SEC quarterback.
And LSU, when they won it in 2019, that guy, they mentioned him too.
Yeah,
What's
Joe
his name?
Brady.
Joe Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you make a point. I mean, the obvious choice tends not to be who Saban looks at. Yeah. He does have this kind of cavalier, I'm going to do it my way, and
there's no way
out of the blue.
Dan Mullen, when
He's
they brought that up, I said that ain't
not.
I don't think him or
gotta
Grantham
remember.
is really. I don't think a real big.
You got to remember this. There's one thing nobody's even thought about. Great state of Mississippi, where their great top player every single year, not every single year, but it used to be anyway. We have a history of Bear Bryant when he coached there. We go to Mississippi, get their best players. Nick Saban usually gets the best players out of the state of Mississippi to come to Alabama. Dan was the head football coach a long time at Mississippi State. You don't think there were some hard feelings? You don't think there was some, recruited guy, you think you got him, and then all of a sudden he goes to Alabama? Yeah. Little things like that people don't think about. And you watch him do TV shows, radio shows. He doesn't speak that highly of Saban or Alabama. I mean, he didn't go overboard like most of them do about him. So when they even first brought that up, I said, I don't know what their relationship's like. I'm sure it's good, but could be better maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, those are the big things going on in Tuscaloosa. Coordinator searches and Alabama basketball getting ready for a pivotal run here, hoping to maintain that number 1 seed projection that we've got right now. When have we used those words?
Jeremy, it's hard for me. I've been real cautious to get too excited about Alabama basketball because I thought before we're going to, this is it. We got a lot of games to play.
A lot of games.
And I'm going to tell you what, Auburn, that Iron
at Auburn,
Bowl.
At Tennessee, back-to-back ball games.
Are you going to go to the one in Tuscaloosa?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm toying with it. Certainly not going to the one in Auburn. Have you seen what the secondary market's doing on tickets?
How much?
Several $100 for an Alabama basketball
I
game.
think it'd be hard to get tickets to Iron Bowl in Tuscaloosa, too.
Yeah.
Because my daughter said, y'all come to that game.
It's a long way up there for 2 hours.
If
I could combine it with a baseball game, I might do it. But
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and none of those line up this
I'm
year.
definitely going to go to the SEC championship games, baseball games in Hoover. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Well, I'm glad you took my advice and
did that. Are you going to go? You
Maybe.
need to go.
I know.
It's not
I didn't get to go last year. I'm
drive,
going to
4.5-hour drive
but
up there.
You've got all the teams, all the games.
Yeah.
It's one of those rare times. The SEC basketball tournament's the same way. Opening day of the SEC basketball.
Where's it going to be this year?
Hadn't even looked.
I think Nashville.
Probably.
I thought last year was Nashville.
Oh, was
right?
it last year?
I thought right.
I thought it was down in Florida somewhere.
Oh, you're right. I think it is Nashville this year then.
It was in Tampa.
Let's see. SEC tournament 2023.
I'd like to do that. I've never done that.
Bridgestone Arena, Nashville.
Yep.
Nashville. See, I knew it was in Tampa last year. I thought it was.
Tampa. That's
Yeah.
right.
All right, let's talk about some of our great people. We got so many wonderful people. Appreciate every single one of them. Stevenson Air Conditioner, #1, not even close. Any kind of problems, call Jason, call Debbie, make an appointment. They'll get out there and they'll solve all problems quickly, anytime, day or night. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1. J. Michael's Restaurant, the best seafood, the coldest beer, the place, legendary place. Get out there and have a great time on Thomas Drive. J. Michael's. I call him the man in black. He's like Johnny Cash. He always got wearing black. Looks good in it, too. Buffalo Rock, everything there is outstanding. Make sure you go, a big get-together, big party. You can go buy a lot of products. Make doggone sure it's Buffalo Rock products. They've done so many things for your child. You don't even know about it. They've done so many things for Bay District schools. It's incredible. Buffalo Rock, #1, not even close. Just like Chuck Tucker's #1, South Oak Title and Closing does an incredible job. The major players in real estate, Mark Carrot, Beth Movey, they all use Chuck Tucker, South Oak Title and Closing. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby.
ESPN Northwest Florida, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Speak on the Clippers to somebody else because you're not going to sell me on the Clippers. It's just not. It's not going to happen. I hate to be disrespectful to them, but it's not going to happen. This is the same organization, even though it's different ownership and management, everything, that I've been watching since I was a toddler.
Weekday mornings 5 to 7 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Thursday morning. I'm forecasting a more quiet weather day today. It'll be partly to mostly sunny in the mid to upper 50s. A northwest wind up to 20 miles per hour. Less wind tonight, mostly clear, chilly, 35 to 40 for the low. Friday's going to be mostly sunny in the mid 50s. Low 60s Saturday, mostly sunny. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Love is in the air at Tracy's Fine Jewelry, and do we have a sweetheart of a deal for you? These heart pendants will put a sparkle in her eye. Set her heart on fire with these diamond rings. These stackable rings and bracelets are sure to make her heart melt. Let your love soar to new heights with these angel wing pendant and earring sets. Folks have trusted us for 50 years to make their Valentine's sparkle. This year, make it sparkle even more with a sweetheart of a deal from Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
PCB Coins and Cards is the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, coins, and trading card games. PCB Coins and Cards carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Coins and Cards has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel, rookie, game-used, and autograph cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? Bring it in and let us take a look. We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Coins and Cards on Back Beach Road just east of Florida Linen. Call them today at 850-320-8388.
Tiger fans, join us weekday mornings at 8:15. It's the Bay Point Golf Auburn Update on the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Roll Tide. Oh, War Eagle. Hey. Sorry about that, Ryan Moby. Bay Point Golf. Sorry about that. Made a mistake. Now, I just got a text from Michigan Eddie. He goes, "Heck, the Alabama update. You've been in Alabama all day." So I sent him a signal. So he knows.
Send him a picture of a bird.
Anyway, no, War Eagle. I tell you what, I really enjoyed Andy Burcham coming on Tuesday. He does a great job with us. He was excited about that basketball game, but Ethan, what happened to Auburn Tigers against A&M?
Honestly, we shot the lights out of it from the three-point line, and we've only hit 6 3-pointers the last 2 games. We won one, lost to Kentucky, but we only made 6 3-pointers. We made 7 last night. So I mean, we were really hot from the three-point line. We started out really, really fast. We opened up 13-2 run, and we were up by 15 at halftime, and it pretty much just stayed like that the whole second half. I mean, Coach Pearl, I mean, he obviously said, A&M, and we have a lot of seniors and juniors, so we're not really gonna be affected by going on the road. Playing at Auburn, like obviously they had the nation's longest home winning streak last. So I mean, we're physical. I mean, we're kind of we have a lot of guards, we're a lot of big guards, and we're not really great shooters. Last time we were just kind of hot. I mean, it's one of those things that sometimes just your night's your night.
I could see y'all guys winning at home, but not at Auburn.
Yeah,
that's what surprised me.
Yeah, and I mean we were 5-0 in the SEC. We lost to Kentucky this weekend. And then now we're 6-1 in the SEC. But I mean, even Coach Pearl said it. I mean, he thinks that we're probably the 4th or 5th best team in the conference. I mean, obviously, I think you got Bama, Auburn, Tennessee. After that, I think it's probably either us or Kentucky would be 4. And he thinks we're probably he said he thinks we're better than Kentucky. But I mean, we just lost him, so it's kind of hard to say that. Yeah. But no, I mean, it was a good. I mean, from my point of view, it was a good game. I mean, I think probably most Auburn fans probably would say. I mean, they didn't play well. I mean, I don't think Auburn played their best game. But no, it was a good victory for us.
All right, let's get into Auburn football. Hugh Freeze, I got to give him a lot of credit. I mean, seriously, I'm giving him a lot of credit. He has done a fabulous job in a short period of time. He's done what he's bringing into Auburn is like a totally brand new football team. And Jeremy, you talked about plugging your needs. You could say Auburn's retooling their defense. I'm saying they're retooling the entire football team. They have really done a good job. The only thing they really have not brought in that surprisingly is not a big name quarterback. I really thought that would happen. But I do think Bobby and TJ's got another year. Finley's got another year. I'm still not sold on him. But Bobby, I really think I watched him in high school at Hoover. Kid, he can run like no other. He can move around. If they get that, and Hugh Freeze does such a great job with quarterbacks wherever he's been, he could be something. He got a chance. I'm not saying he'll be great, but he's got a chance to be. I don't know. Who knows? He might be special one day. Hugh Freeze might put some magic on that boy. The way he can run, if he gets that arm right, watch out. That could be something special.
Well, I think keep your eye on Rashada.
Yeah.
The guy that just left Florida. I think keep your eye on him.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to go to Auburn. I don't even know if they're even interested, but he's available.
Well, what I keep hearing now, this is just rumored out there. It's on the street. Mississippi State's quarterback that started and threw for how many yards he threw for this past year? I mean, it's like
a lot. Will Rogers, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't be shocked if you see him at Auburn.
Wow, that would be a great pickup.
I just heard that. I don't know what truth is.
I like Ashford, but I just don't know if he's the guy.
I think Brian told me this too.
For Auburn.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he's the guy.
If they get that kid from Mississippi State in there at quarterback, boy,
they're gonna be good.
Yeah. But I'd say the whole team. He's really to the whole team. You know, offensive line, defensive line, receivers. But anyway, Auburn's defense, they lost a lot. I mean, Hall was a heck of a football player, the edge guy. Big Hall was a heck of a football player. Papo's a really good football player. They lost some really good defensive guys, no doubt about that. Saying all that, Auburn's defense has to be better in 2023 if they want the kind of year that everybody wants to have at Auburn, a successful win 9-10 games. The defense got to play a lot better than it did last year. Auburn's run defense has to be better in 2023 than 2022. They were 97th in the nation in rushing defense. That's not very good. Auburn gave up 172.6 yards per game in rushing. That's not good. They got to do a lot better job there if they're going to have the kind of year we want them to have. Now, yards per carry was even worse. They were 105th in the nation in college football. That's terrible. Every time somebody handed the ball off and that somebody run against that defense, they picked up 4.64. Remember Penn State? They just manhandled Auburn up front. They ran the ball on Auburn at ease, at will. So they've got to do a better job stopping the run, and I think they'll do that. This is what they've done. They went out and got that Keys, the linebacker from Ole Miss, 6'2", 245. The kid's a stud. He can play. He's going to play. He's going to plug that position. At Ole Miss, he had 35 tackles. He had 3.5 tackles for loss. He had 2 sacks. Really good football player. At Auburn, he's got to stay healthy. Jameson, Travis, a defensive lineman, 6'4", 280. He's from Iowa Western, and he can play, guys. He played college football. I know it wasn't a Big Ten or anything like that, but this boy's got the size, he got the speed, the quickness, he got good hands up front. He was the number 3 JUCO player in the nation coming out, 6'4", 280. Watch out for him. They need some help in the defensive line. He got plugged in there. Justin Rogers, another defensive lineman out of Kentucky. He's only 6'3", 332. Big, good-looking kid, physical body. He had 35 tackles, played in 33 games at Kentucky. Watch out. Auburn, I'm telling you guys, Auburn's going to be good in year one. They got Maryland's defensive lineman, 6'2", 320 pounds, another big monster up front. They got McAllister, defensive end, 6'6", 265 from Vandy. He had 65 tackles last year. One of Vandy's better players, maybe one of the best defensive players. They got Johnson, another defensive lineman from Purdue. He's only 6'3", 310 pounds. They got Tulane. I don't know if I said it right or not. Now, that kid, Johnson from Purdue, he had 29 tackles, individual tackles last year. They got another linebacker, Tulane, I think is his name, 6'2", 222. So, Jeremy, they're bringing in guys that they've watched film on, and they truly believe are going to really impact their team in the SEC competition. They think these guys can come here and play. It's not watching a high school guy where you never know the competition they played against. Can they do it in the SEC? These guys can do it. They've done a heck of a job. I think he's done the second. He has. He's done the second best anybody in college football. Number 1 is Florida State. Number 2 is Auburn. I think Colorado's number 3.
Colorado's up there.
And they're all 3 really
Colorado,
close,
USC,
to be honest with you.
yeah.
Yeah. So this 5 and 7 stuff, 4 and 8 stuff ain't gonna happen with Hugh Freeze. Everywhere he's been, he's won. He's putting together some good football players. Got a great coaching staff. I'll tell you what, it's gonna be interesting. Iron Bowl will be good.
Well, like you said, he's building it the right way. I mean, last year, what could they not do? They couldn't run the ball and they couldn't stop the run.
Right.
This year, he has built both trenches big time.
Yep.
And, I mean, that's where it starts.
So Roy Kramer, when he was SEC commissioner years ago, gathered us at Kiwanis Club meeting or something. He said, I want to tell all of you a secret about our conference. And everybody leaned in like we're going to get this great knowledge. He said, in every one of our games, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. Who gets squeezed in this? Because, A&M expectations high. Arkansas, Ole Miss, Hugh Freeze at Auburn, Alabama, LSU. When you run down the line here, who gets kind of pushed down as everybody seems to be coming up? Because they can't all win every game. Or do we just see SEC West cannibalism?
Yeah.
It's the toughest division in the whole nation.
Yeah.
Why would you go to the, what do you call it, the pods?
Yeah.
Why would I kind of believe the commissioner's going to back off on that. I do. I think they're going to put Oklahoma one, Texas the other. But then again, TV and money controls everything. ESPN wants the big time games.
I like the 3 permanent opponents. I think you could.
But I'm worried about us winning a national championship. I'm worried about Alabama should have been. Alabama was the top 3-4 teams in the country.
The new 12-team thing's going to take care of that.
If they pick the best 12 teams.
Yeah.
And they're not. They're going to pick the conference champions. And they're going to get a bye. A dang Kansas State. Who's going to get a bye? Clemson.
Yeah, Utah.
3 teams lost would have a bye. That's,
Utah and Kansas State.
Yeah, this woke everything. It's like participation trophies. No, let's pick the best teams, Jeremy.
Well, basketball can give you a lot of non-conference games. The whole month of December, you get to mix it up.
Right.
Football, because we do have the conferences, doesn't allow for that, and you might get one marquee non-conference matchup.
You better win it.
Which is hard to get a good base. So some years leagues sneak up, and they end up looking better, and then some years leagues look great, and then you realize, no, they weren't as strong as we thought they were. That's the challenge of college football. A little different than the NFL, where you've got this parity through the system.
And you pay somebody home, they come back to your place.
Right.
Another thing, Jeremy, I started thinking about tough schedules. Talking about Georgia got a cupcake. You look at LSU. Look at LSU. They open up with Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
They got Florida as a crossover every year. Don't they have to go to Tennessee this year?
No, I think Tennessee rotates off. I'll check that.
Yeah, look at that.
But then you've got the SEC West.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be tough on LSU too. Alabama, LSU's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, what you doing, buddy?
Good morning. Do them guys have their galoshes on for all the tears you're crying about Alabama not being in the playoffs? Come on, Coach.
It was highway robbery. We didn't mean to lose those 2 games. That was an accident.
Good Lord. I just had to call because I got tired of somebody at least get you a napkin or some tissues.
Rob, all right, football.
But at least
no, wait a minute. You started. Football. Let's keep it fair and balanced. You telling me Alabama wasn't one of the top 4 teams in the country?
But they got beat, Coach. If you had, like I've told you, if you had to call all this before the playoffs start in August, the last week of August on week 0. To me, your playoffs start, and you got to win your games and stay up top. Now, let me ask you this. How many times have they looked up and the cards fell right for them to get in to the playoffs? This year, the ball just bounced the wrong way.
Yep. You're right.
And that's just what happened. You just had so many other teams. If Tennessee beat them, but if Tennessee had not been ranked as high starting the season off as they were, then that loss probably wouldn't have mattered because they would have never been able to get up so high.
Right. Well, so what you're telling me confirms what I was telling Jeremy. I don't want to pause. I want to keep the schedule as easy as we can keep it. I don't want to play an extra SEC game because, like you said, if you win, you're in. It don't matter who you play. Right. That's a lie about strength of schedule.
But let me ask you this. All right, with the pods, though, don't you think Bama's schedule gets easier than playing the West every year?
I think so.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're getting part of the East now.
Vanderbilt, Missouri, South Carolina sneak on there.
So I mean, if you do the pods, you have your 3 same every year.
But I don't want to play
your other ones.
I want to keep it.
Right. I understand the extra game, but I'm saying as far as like West versus pods, really the pods should be easier. And I mean, most years.
Depends. Depends on who you get.
On certain years, the pod's definitely going to be easier, depending on how it falls.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know?
would like
And there
Alabama
again,
permanent teams to be Missouri
you don't know
and
what
Vandy.
team's going to be weak. You know,
Right.
Vanderbilt might, you know, with money and everything else, Vanderbilt might come up and be a powerhouse. You never know. You know,
I tell you what, if they ever
And
worked
Kentucky-
the NIL, but here's the thing: I got a great buddy of mine that went to Vandy. He listened to us. He said, "Yeah, but the thing with Vandy, they'd have to lower their standards, to admissions,
Academic
whatever,
standards.
academics to get them in. That's what hurts them."
Correct. Just like with Notre Dame and a lot of them, you can't. That's
Hey,
where-
Rob, hold
that's the
on,
problem.
don't hang up. I got to take. We're way over. I got to take it back. I didn't know what he was doing in there. We'll be right back.
Probably pulling
104.3
his hair out.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN is above the rim. Exciting college basketball is back. Tune in every Saturday for the biggest games in college basketball, plus marquee evening matchups during the week. The Round Ball.
And it goes for the win!
You want it, you need it, and we've got it. College basketball plays here. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sykes Concrete has been in business in this area since 1947, and 3 generations later, they're still going strong. See Sykes Concrete for dirt, sand, rock, and concrete. They can handle any size job from the smallest to the largest. Sykes Concrete pays CDL truck drivers some of the highest wages in Bay County, making $50,000 to $75,000 a year, including holiday and vacation pay, plus health insurance. See Hugh Sykes at Sykes Concrete, 8030 Highway 77 on the right, just north of Southport Elementary School.
It's a new year to dream big and drive bigger in an SUV from Bill Bird Kia. Take the first step toward your next adventure and stop by Bill Bird Kia today. You'll find the perfect match in an SUV from Bill Bird Kia, now offering 3.25% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us anytime at 2435 East 15th Street and also online at BillBirdKia.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance for the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento with $22.22 per month per $1,000 financed at 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Plus take delivery from dealer stock through 2/28/23.
If you got more A's on your truck than you did in high school, you might be a Bama fan. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Well, let's. Rob's still on there? We still got Rob. Rob,
yeah,
you
I'm
still there,
still
buddy?
here, but I'm fixing to have to go because I got picked up. and
Well, I'm
you won't be
sorry
able
we had
hear
to
me.
take that break. I love when you call in. You gonna call us
Yeah.
tomorrow?
Yeah, I call just about every day, don't I?
You better
hey,
keep it up.
do you have Michigan Eddie on suspension? I hadn't heard him in the last
He's been
couple of days.
texting nasty stuff to me all morning about
Okay.
talking too much about Alabama. Bear Bryant, you got to talk about Bear Bryant. Hey, Rob, tomorrow now, 7:45. Make sure you're listening. We're going to give away some. I think you're going to enjoy this. I think you would win it.
They
Probably.
probably won't let me win. They probably won't let me win nothing else.
I think you can. I think every time we got something new, I think you're eligible. Right.
All right, Coach. Have a good one.
Have
See
a
y'all.
good day, Rob. Bye, buddy. Don't forget the big giveaway tomorrow, 7:45, baby. You're going to be happy. This might be one of the big. I think the people around here probably love this as much as the SEC championship game, Atlanta Braves game. We need to give away. You know what we need, John? We need to get ready to do one. Let's give away to Graceland, the Elvis house. That would be a good one.
But you can't enter, I don't think, Coach, can you?
Well, there's ways around everything. You know that.
Okay.
Yeah. We can go to Liberty Bowl, give away Liberty Bowl tickets, go see Elvis. But better yet, I know what we need to give away. We need to give away to the SEC basketball tournament in Nashville.
Ooh.
That would be a nice trip.
Yeah.
That would be a great time. Now, remember, you can listen right here this weekend starting at 1 o'clock, right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We've got the NFC and AFC championship games this week. Right here, you can listen to them. sponsored by Dave and Buster's, Panama City Toyota, Sports Card, Replay Sports Card. So make sure you turn it in, listen to the game. If you're out driving around going somewhere, turn it on here, or just listen to the game, watch it on TV, whatever you want to do. NASCAR fans, hey, man, you're going to be happy. You're going to be happy. Let me say something. You're going to be really happy. All right, basketball games. You can listen to all the basketball games this week right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You can listen to Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, you name it. This weekend, what's the date today? This weekend on the 28th at 12:30, guess who we got on? Guess who we got on right here?
Kentucky,
Chris
Kansas.
Stewart, Alabama at Oklahoma. I like Chris. He's a good guy.
Good guy.
Really good guy. That's who I sat with and watched the baseball games with up there at Hoover. We sat there. He told me all kinds of stories. I was asking him all kinds of stuff about Saban, and he's very careful what he says.
Yeah.
Very careful.
Yeah, Eli Gold, when I heard him over in Pensacola, he talked about the relationship that you have to have with the coach and guarding the information they give you and knowing what and where that line is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He put it this way. He didn't answer a lot of questions.
Right. Yeah.
And I was digging, baby.
Yeah. Any updates on Eli lately?
Andy Pritchard, we asked Andy about him. We had Bertram, we had an Auburn update, and he said it's more or less the same thing you hear. And they usually communicate that they haven't talked to each other or text each other in a while. But last thing he heard, he was doing better.
Good.
So,
well, hope that'll be the
kind
case.
of cancer he has, that you can survive it.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's going to be okay. I have no idea.
Well,
I need to ask Jamie if she talks to him. All right. Most overrated football team in 2020. In honor of Ethan Boyd, I had this here. The most overrated team this past year. I'm sorry, it wasn't me, but I did see the article, and I thought you'd enjoy listening to it.
Okay, yeah.
App State.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Preseason top 10 team, not ranked at the end of the year, signed the most historical class in college football history. Half of them are gone. They lost to Appalachian State at home. They lost 6 straight games at midseason. They lost to 4 unranked football teams. They finished the year at 5-7, 2-5 in the SEC. We're talking about the one and only, the Texas A&M Aggies.
Coach, I got to ask though, I think it's the Polars' fault for putting us that high that early. I mean, how many teams do you have a question mark at quarterback? You're not sure what your offensive line's going to look like. I mean, how many teams can you say they're the number 6 team in the nation preseason? I mean, I think that's just the AP's fault, not A&M's fault.
Jeremy, you agree with that? It was our fault, not A&M. Not Jimbo Fisher had nothing to do with it.
He coached as good as he could. Okay,
for $9.5 million.
Yeah.
This App State Texas A&M game is going to live on in the same way that App State Michigan does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be circulated forever. But it does speak to the contrast of team and playing for the love of the game versus what we saw with the emergence of NIL, and it could have been any program. I mean, it just became an issue over the summer as Saban took his swing, and you had a little spat with Saban and Fisher. But what they did in Boone, North Carolina with App State, with a senior-led, laden team going in to play a talented bunch of individuals, not gelling into a team, was laid bare for everybody to see on that Saturday afternoon at Kyle Field. And could have happened anywhere. It just happened that all the things came together to happen to A&M. So, yeah, it's tough to watch that one go down, and that they played them close. Everybody went, okay, yeah, that's a good, FCS non-conference game. But to beat them, never.
And saying all that, we were in, I think you were there too, we were in Bryant-Denny Stadium, and we always leave a little bit before the game's over. A&M's down to goal line at the end of the football game and could have beaten Alabama.
Yep. Well, and I think that's obviously you get upset, things happen, obviously, and that was the big loss, and all the storylines from that. But the problem was, like you said, it's this 6-game losing streak that combines with that makes the season such a failure. You know what I mean? It's not, you can lose that one game and then still play tough and blah, 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 but, lose that game and then obviously go through that stretch and lose so many other games is what really made the season so bad, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. What? Now you went to an A&M game. It was unbelievably cold that day.
Yeah.
And it was like, who were they playing? It was a nobody game.
I want to say UConn, but I don't even think it was UConn. I can't remember. Some team from up northeast. I can't remember.
And usually that stadium's incredibly loud.
Oh yeah.
Over 100,000 people there, but nobody showed up for the game. And everybody left, right? I mean,
yeah.
The first quarter.
Yeah, I mean that was like the ongoing joke. They showed the stands at like I think third quarter, and I mean it was like 75% empty. Yeah.
Even Ethan Boyd went home. It was so cold.
Heck yeah, I ain't saying for that.
You went down to Rouge Barbecue, watched it there. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. We want to appreciate every single one of you guys out there that support us. I appreciate you guys listening, and thank you. Go visit our sponsors. I tell you that, really appreciate it if you do that. Get down to Rouge Barbecue, have a great meal, lunch, breakfast, or dinner. Great facility. Go down and see Ethan, tell him hi, and visit with him and have a great meal. Also, Dr. Chad Mitchell, a legendary doctor, does an incredible job. 24 years taking care of athletes here in Bay County. They'll take care of you. Give them a call, make an appointment, go see Chad. You can listen to him every Monday right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Bay Point Golf. You love golf. It's only one place to go. That is Bay Point. We need our bingo back. When we get it back, we'll all go play down there and have a wonderful time. Rombo will be in here tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Also, Blue Sky Express Car Wash. What a great job they do with your vehicle. It will look brand new, showroom ready. Go try it out. You will love it. I'm telling you that right now. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Do you want to look better, feel better? Go by and see Jason Kovaleski. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest.
We've moved. ESPN Northwest Florida offices are now on the beach. Our doors are always open, and we still love visitors. Come see the new ESPN Northwest Florida radio studio and offices at 204 Suite B Ellen Lane on Panama City Beach. We can't wait to see you. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Thursday morning. I'm forecasting a more quiet weather day today. It'll be partly to mostly sunny in the mid to upper 50s. A northwest wind up to 20 miles per hour. Less wind tonight, mostly clear, chilly, 35 to 40 for the low. Friday's going to be mostly sunny in the mid-50s, low 60s Saturday, mostly sunny. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts in Delhi. Call 763-1627.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
Living on the Gulf Coast, we have beautiful beaches, clear water, and amazing marine life. Want to bring a piece of the ocean into your home or office with an amazing aquarium? Gulf Coast Aquarium, the area's only certified platinum CCHEM dealer. Their staff are all certified CCHEM specialists. Gulf Coast Aquarium can install, design, maintain, and finance your own piece of the Gulf. Gulf Coast Aquarium, powered by CCHEM, with over 40 years as a U.S.-based manufacturer of quality aquarium products. Online at GulfCoastAquarium.com. Gulf Coast Aquarium, where it's more than just a tank.
On the run, caught! Time to let the big dogs eat.
How about that answer by Georgia? To the end zone, touchdown, Georgia!
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio, ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. NFL games coming this weekend. What do you two guys think? I won't have you on until after they're being played. Who do you like and why do you like them?
Jalen Hurts.
Can you believe how he's developed as a quarterback, throwing the football? I never thought.
Man, another former Alabama quarterback.
We talk too much about Alabama. Let's talk about Jalen. But seriously, when I watched him at Bama, I said he'll never play in the NFL.
Never.
And look at him. He's tearing it up.
His determination. I mean, but he had that focus, and we forget how young Jalen Hurts is because he's been around for so long. I think he was 12 when he started at Alabama.
and one of the strongest players on the team. The guy's a freak in the weight room.
Right. But his intensity, he is just truly kind of this machine. I mean, you talk about the process. I mean, he uses the words. And he's emerged as a tremendous pro quarterback. I mean, it really.
Do you think they're going to win?
I don't count them out.
Home now, they're home.
Mm-hmm.
What's the matchup there you like?
Home field means a lot in the pros, but the type of game that the pro game is really suits Hurts well, and he's got just enough of that dual threat to make that big play.
Jeremy, I kind of worry about him this game because you got Bosa, you got 49ers defense is pretty good. And I think they're coached outside. I love their defensive coordinator.
Nope.
Is it Michigan, Eddie? Tell them we're already closed. Tell them the show's already over. Good morning.
Go Blue Trucks here is representing Beck Tyndall. Guess who's playing the number one team in the nation tonight, Coach?
Michigan Wolverines.
Yep, they're playing Purdue at Chrysler Arena.
And
God's
Michigan's
country,
going to
Ann
get
Arbor.
it done. Michigan wins. You wait.
They have to. They have to, Coach, to right the ship because if they keep losing games, they're not going to make the dance.
Yeah.
So
I hope they do.
Well, you need Michigan and teams like Michigan, the Blue Bloods, to get in there,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
hopefully Alabama will go far too, with Coach Oaks and all that,
Yeah.
But they've kind of been
Hey,
a
Michigan, let me
disappointment.
ask you something. Do you think Coach Oaks will leave after this year to go to a true basketball school, or do you stay at Bama and make Bama a basketball school? What do you think about that? He's making good money right now.
Why doesn't he stay in Tuscaloosa and make it a basketball and a football school at the same
See, that's
time?
why I was thinking the same thing you said. Hey, stay there and you can stay there for. And
And-
another
and-
thing, you
and
can
then-
stay there forever.
And then you put your blueprint. I built this. I competed with Coach Saban. Alabama was a football school. Now it's a football and basketball school. And it's my blueprint. I did this. You know what I mean? Instead of right on the coattails, let's say UNC, Duke, what have you, the traditional basketball powers, UCLA, if you will.
Right.
And you did it yourself.
Yeah.
So why not?
I'm
so you
with
should
you.
stay.
Well, Alabama paying.
Money's
he's making
not
big money now.
everything.
Jeremy, you think Bama will open up the checkbook to try to keep him? I think they will.
Money's there.
Yeah, they got the money. Hey, Michigan, that's the reason I love you on the show. You know what you're talking about. This guy's incredible. He really is.
Okay. Hey, I need to give an update, a Michigan update for Ypsilanti and Chris
You
about
do,
the
you
White
absolutely
firing.
do. You absolutely. We're gonna get together and talk. We're gonna come up with a package, and you're gonna be able to do that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do it right now anyway.
Go
anyway, so what happened
charge you
was
later.
it's not a federal thing, but I guess he was hacking, and rumor is that he was hacking into potentially students' grades and possibly other schools' recruiting database.
So that's the reason they
word.
fired him.
Yep, that's why they fired. But they're not going. That's all you're going to get out of Michigan. They're pretty tight-lipped.
I knew it had to be something like that.
Yeah.
Hey,
because the feds weren't involved, so.
We've been pretty upset all day that Paul Bear Bryant died 40 years ago today. You want to give a shout out to Paul Bear Bryant? His buddy, you know who one of his best friends were? He loved him. He loved Bo. He loved Bo Schembechler.
It breaks my. Can I say something, Coach?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I never really got to know Bear Bryant until I watched Junction Boys and all that, right? Because he passed away in the early 80s. I was only like 5, 6, 7
That's
years old.
right. I forgot.
Actually, I was 7 because if it was 40 years, I was 7 at the time. But as I studied more, become a college football buff and all that, not an expert, but just a hobby, it just breaks my heart that after he retired, didn't he pass away within a year of his last year, right? Yeah. Then he died shortly thereafter. Right. So he couldn't really enjoy the fruits of his labor and see Alabama grow and all that, spend time with his wife, his grandkids, and all that. That kind of what breaks my heart. Kind of what happened to Joe Pa, you know?
Right.
After he was the scapegoat for all that mess up in State College. And he passed away just like Bear Bryant did.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
But he was an innovator. He, you know, with the shows up in Tuscaloosa, after the games and all that, and the integration piece and all that, he's a great dude and great legend, man. And
you know, it's kind of interesting too, Missionary, that the people he really, respected and close to, him and Woody Hayes, he thought the world of Woody Hayes. Bo coached with him in All-Star games. In a book I read about him, one time that's what Coach Bryant said about Bo, and the other one I read was Bo's book and what he said about Paul Bear Bryant. And they just had a lot of respect for one another. They cared for each other, and that but they were all three the old school work ethic, dedication, commitment, loyalty, and it's sad you don't see that much anymore like those guys did. They were great Americans.
Yep, I couldn't have said it better. I mean, they were old school, and you know the team played for each other, not NIL deals.
Yeah,
not the NFL.
The team.
The team time. Yes. Hey, all your listeners, go Google the team speech by Coach Bo Schembechler.
It's incredible.
And that's all you need to know about Bear Bryant, Woody Hayes, and Glenn E. Bo Schembechler.
Yep.
And you don't have that in today's college sports. You don't.
The team doesn't pay the money, guys.
Cut that mic off. Cut that Rudy Tootie mic off.
Cut Rudy Tootie off, man.
You know what? You need to go listen to that speech. You need to go listen to it.
Yeah.
It's good. It's really good.
Hey, did you ever tell Rudy Tootie when Bo Schembechler almost won Coach A&M?
Yeah, they were going to offer him big. You know, he asked Coach Bryant about that too. That was big time money. Big time money. And Bo turned it down. He stayed at Michigan. At the time, he'd been the highest paid coach in college football history, and he turned it down.
Rudy Tootie, money isn't everything, brother. Go make some turkey.
Hey, Michigan, I hate you. We got to go. Hey, Michigan, I love you, brother. Call back tomorrow, okay? Because your favorite people, the Big Ten Network, are being here tomorrow. The Buckeyes.
I might do one better. I might stop in and say hello.
You're welcome all the time, brother. Make sure the door's
Go
locked.
Surfside, baby. Go Surfside today.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye. Jeremy, thank you so much for coming in today. Ethan, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Get out to Rudy's Barbecue, have a good meal. What's going on in the church? Everything good?
Everything's good. First United Methodist Church, Panama City. We're well into the start of the new year, off to a great start. Looking for a place to worship. Come join us.
Big crowd. I saw something on Facebook.
Yeah,
a huge
Wednesday
crowd.
Nights. Last night we had
what is that,
chicken.
A cookout?
That's just fellowship supper every Wednesday night. So you can register online, come eat.
Is that free?
Guest
speaker?
Your first time, Coach.
Yeah. I always listen. I keep telling him, when are you going to let me come preach? He changed the subject. I want to come preach up there.
That fifth Sunday in February.
You're the busiest place. All right, we're out. We'll see you tomorrow. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
I knew that I would not. So good. So good, I got you. Wow, I feel nice, a sugar and spice. I feel nice, a sugar and spice. So nice, I got you.
ESPN Northwest Florida, your home for Mike Greenberg.
In the induction ceremonies in Cooperstown, they're going to intentionally walk Barry Bonds to pitch to Scott Rowland. I feel like we have finally reached the point, to use your favorite Andrew Lloyd Webber song, we have reached the point of no return. When we are putting in Scott Rowland and Barry Bonds and Alex Rodriguez are not in, we are in catastrophe mode.
Weekdays 2 to 4, ESPN Northwest.